Hi LEGO fans! It's collectible minifigure blind bag feeling time again. Can you believe we're up to Series 22? I've got me a sealed box of 36 random minifigure blind bags, and today I'll show you my system for feeling out every character with no duplicates, no disappointment, and no wasted money. Forget about bump codes, those things haven't worked for years, and those numbers on the back of the packs are not secret codes that reveal the contents. Feeling what's inside minifigure blind bags is super easy. There are 12 minifigures to collect in Series 22, and each one comes with unique parts revealing their identities. To be successful, you need to know what you're feeling for, so I always print off a list of the minifigures I need. Photos of the minifigs allow you to visualise what you're feeling inside the bag, and this also gives you a convenient way to check off the characters you've already found. These little guys are not cheap. Each random blind bag sells for $5 US, €4 or £3.50 if you live in the UK. Buying these randomly and hoping for the best gets expensive very quickly. When you're faced with a pile of seemingly identical blind bags, it can be intimidating, but stay cool and remember the rules. Feel for distinctive elements and don't forget to consult the sheet. I'll show you exactly how this is done in just a moment. There are no chase figures in Series 22, so box distribution should be pretty equal. I'm expecting to find 3 full sets in this box of 36. In previous series, rare chase minifigures made this difficult, with characters like Classic Policeman, Percival Graves, and the legendary Mr. Gold raising the stakes. Series 22 has 12 minifigures for us to find. Birdwatcher, Chili Costume Fan, Figure Skating Champion, Forest Elf, Horse and Groom, Night Protector, Racoon Costume Fan, Robot Repair Tech, Space Creature, Snow Guardian, Troubadour, whatever one of those is, and Wheelchair Racer. I'm going to feel every bag in the box so I can confirm the distribution of figures and find every character. Along the way, I'll explain what I'm feeling for, and if you need help with a specific character, check out the video chapters to save some time. After identifying the minifigure, I'll open up the bag to prove it, and then we'll take a closer look. Ready for some blind bag feeling goodness? Here's Series 22! And so we're starting off with bag number 1, which definitely won't be a duplicate. I'll put a picture of the minifigure I'm feeling for up in the top right hand corner, so that will help you to visualise what I'm feeling. So let's make a start on this. I usually like to give these a good shake to get all of the components out of the way at the top, and then have a feel around. So what I'm feeling for is any unusual elements. There will be things like legs and stuff like that, which are pretty common to minifigures, but I'm feeling for unusual stuff. And what I've got straight away is a large piece here. It feels like a large piece with 4 legs, which is going to narrow this down quite a lot. There is a character with a dog in the series, and there's also a character with a horse. And this feels bigger than a dog, so I'm kind of leaning towards the horse. Now what we've got to do is try and confirm this with other pieces of the puzzle. I'm feeling a torso piece, not very useful. Then we've got the base plate, which is always a 2x4 base plate with studs. I hope you like the rustling sound, by the way. So I'm looking for something that will absolutely confirm this, and I think I've just found it. Okay, now the character, the foal and groom, or the horse and groom I think it's officially called, has a carrot in it, and the carrot has a stem, and that is unique to that particular minifigure. If I have a feel around a little bit more, I should be able to find an actual carrot element. In fact, I've got the headpiece here, or the hat, which I can feel the ponytails. You can probably see that in the picture. And then just to confirm things, because we're being super cautious, there we go. The unmistakable conical shape of a carrot. So this is definitely going to be the groom and horse, as it's so titled on LEGO's website. I'm going to go in super carefully. One other thing I should mention that I can feel inside the bag is a crinkly inner bag. Some of these do have those, and that's exactly what we've got here. We've got an inner bag here with elements inside. This is the carrot. I can feel the very distinctive stalk shape here, and we've also got that conical carrot shape. But above that, there's also this very distinctive piece of headgear, I guess you'd call it, which has got these, I guess you call them ponytails. Nice element, that we'll talk about that in a moment. But Also in the bag, we always get one of these. That's the base plate that the figure stands on. And we have a very distinctive foal element. I call it a foal. It's going to be a baby horse. And yeah, very, very easy to feel out inside the bag. You've just got to be careful that this is not the dog. Here is the sheet we've been talking about before. These are great. You can print one off online, or you can just get one of these from the first bag that you open. And this actually has a convenient check sheet on there, so I will be checking off the characters as I find them to make sure I get a full set. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put together the horse and groom, and we'll take a closer look at this character. So what a nice way to start Series 22 with this fantastic horse and groom. We'll come back to the groom in just a second, but first let's take a look at the horse. Well, technically I think this is a foal. It's definitely a younger version of a horse and super easy to feel out inside the bag. It's dual moulded out of sand red and dark brown plastics, which makes it look really sharp. Adding to the cute factor, we've got a small amount of printing for the eye and a little dimple for the nostril. Should you want to give anyone or anything a ride, there is a stud on the back of the horse. Groot particularly likes horses, but less so hats. Like most LEGO animals, we do have feet which work well with base plates, which is great. Horses tend to be pretty high maintenance, but at least we have a groom to look after this baby foal. She comes with an accessory in the form of this LEGO carrot. This comes in two parts, and both of these are good for feeling out inside the blind bag. The minifigure stands on a pair of the medium posable legs, and then we have this really nice checked torso design complete with pockets. That pattern continues on the back of the torso and even on the arms. What I really like about this minifigure, apart from the adorable face, is the hat element complete with hair. We saw something similar to this being worn by Parker L. Jackson in the Hidden Side sets. The facial print is absolutely adorable, and I love the rosy cheeks and freckles. But check out the alternative expression. Could this girl be any happier? The details are fantastic, even down to the braces on the teeth. These guys are not only adorable, but super easy to feel out inside the blind bag. Shall we rustle up another character? So a really nice start to Series 22 with the horse and groom, and let's see what we can find in bag number 2. We have a set of legs. I can actually feel these are movable legs, which does help a little bit, but they feel like the shorter movable legs, which might help narrow things down. What else do we have in here? Feeling around, I've got the base plate there, that's no good to us. But then I've got a bar. It feels like a 1x4 bar. I'm going to see if I can just push this to the edge of the bag. Crinkle, crinkle. In fact, there are 2 of those. And just referring to my sheet, I always have a glance down and see which minifigures have one of these bar elements. It feels pretty unique. I don't know why we've got 2 of those. It can't be this guy because he's got like a hammer, but I am seeing a bar element with the forest elf here, and I'm thinking it could be that. So we've also got a torso piece. That's not useful. That's pretty much the same. And then we've got a little small conical piece. That could be the stalk for the mushroom, or the toadstool that comes with it. The small legs would make sense. Yeah, okay, as I was about to say, I'm looking for a piece of headgear. And when you look at this character, you will see he's wearing a very distinctive acorn-shaped piece of headgear. And I can feel exactly that. I'm in no doubt. This is the only minifigure with the bar elements, and that piece of distinctive headgear is absolute confirmation. So this is going to be the forest elf character. And when I find my bag opening device, let's open this up and prove what I was feeling for. So let's get into there. There is again an inner crinkly bag, and it's actually sealed into place. It's been caught in the seal at the bottom of the bag. So let's just give this a bit of a tear and see what we've got inside. Okay, completely empty. Another one of these. Got all the elements here. And in fact, I'm going to open this up so it makes it a little bit easier for you to see. There is a cape element in here, and I am notoriously bad at snipping these as I get into the bags. I've never learned from my mistakes, but thankfully we didn't snip through that. So what we've got here, there's a stalk from the mushroom. There's also a little radar dish element, very nicely printed. We'll take a look at that shortly. But there are two of these actually 1x3 bar elements, and those are unique to this character, as is this very distinct acorn shaped piece of headgear. So I'm going to go ahead and put together the forest elf, I think it's called, and we shall take a closer look. So moving on from the adorable horse and groom, we come to adorable fairy folk. This cheeky chappy is referred to as the forest elf. His little companion is the life and soul of the party. It's a fun guy. Adding to the charm, we get a fantastic custom printed piece complete with face. The forest elf character is simply delightful in his green costume. He or she or they also come with a 1x4 bar element, or more precisely, you get two of those inside the bag. If you feel one of these through the bag, you can be sure you've found this character. The legs are the medium posable variety, and then we have this simple but elegant torso print. Most of the printing recreates the features of a leaf, and then we have this rather nice belt with leaf embossing and metallic gold acorn. Fitting in with the woodland theme, we have a green cape in the shape of an oak leaf. This hides some nice printing on the back of the torso, which shows a pouch attached to the belt. The facial expression is suitably cute, complete with rosy cheeks and an open-mouthed smile. The alternate is not quite as cheerful, but equally adorable. The headgear in the form of an acorn is a really nice feature of this minifigure. It's also useful for feeling out the bag so long as you don't confuse it with the Snow Guardian's hat. It's nicely detailed and dual moulded from two different colours of plastic. This is a great little minifigure, and I've got to say, so far with Series 22, I'm very impressed. So 2 characters down and 10 to find. Will this be our first duplicate? Let's have a feel around, see what we can find in here. So we've got, a minifigure head. That's generally something we always get. There's the base plate again, so we'll push that down to one side. There's another crinkly inner bag here. I don't know whether all of these are going to have that, but oh, now that's interesting. So what I've got here is a round element. And I'm wondering if it could be the shield for this guy, the Snow King or whatever he's called. But actually, there's kind of dimple on the front. I don't think it could be that. Now I wonder, let's see what else we've got in here. There is... I don't know what that is. But there is. Okay, so there's a piece of headgear. It feels like almost like a cap. Or some kind of very shallow helmet. And then... oh, that's a bigger piece. Now, I think I know what I'm looking at here. So, the round piece, I think, is going to be the wheel from the Wheelchair Racer minifigure. Great to see some inclusion for disabled minifigs within this range. And actually, I've just found 2 wheels. There's one which has got pegs in the side, which I think is going to be the front wheel, and then there should be, there's 2 wheels with connectors which I think go onto the side of that frame. So this is definitely going to be the Wheelchair Racer. Let's open that up and put my money where my mouth is. Let's confirm that, and we should see. Again, this bag is getting sealed within the outer bag. So let's make sure we get everything out of here. Okay, so what I was feeling for, within this, you're going to find 3 circular elements, just like that. Okay, so you've got the wheels for the wheelchair. Then you've got a very unusual piece. This is the frame that the wheels connect to. Again, very distinctive to feel out inside the bag. No other characters really have this. Other distinctive elements include the medal that the guy's wearing. These are not uncommon. You get these in quite a few different collectible minifigures, including Team GB. Great to get 2 of those actually, because when I'm building Team GB minifigures, they come in very useful. Standard legs, but what else have we got? So this is the helmet we were feeling for, a kind of shallow cycling, in fact really nice cycling helmet that, so very good. And then we got a torso with the gloves on as well, because if you're racing in a wheelchair, you are going to want to wear gloves, otherwise your hands are going to get torn up. So let's put this Wheelchair Racer together and take a closer look. To LEGO's credit, diversity and inclusion has really improved in their minifigure lineup of late. This is exemplified with the Wheelchair Racer minifigure. Grit and determination have managed to earn this athlete a gold medal. Unfortunately, LEGO won't get a gold medal for that ropey painting. What I really like about this is the brand new racing wheelchair. The attention to detail is great, even down to those angled wheels. The torso printing includes a zipper and the generic LEGO Sports logo. The arms are dual moulded and I love those teal gloves. There's even a sloppy piece of printing on the other side, complete with the generic logo. And hey, check out the logo on the back. This guy is sponsored by Sport. There is only one facial expression on this minifigure and it shows a very determined looking athlete. Another thing I really like about this minifigure is the sculpted cycling helmet. There's even some detail around the back showing where you can adjust the helmet size. One thing that really confused me when I opened up the minifigure is the inclusion of a trans-clear cylinder. This is actually a really good idea and allows you to mount the wheelchair on top of the base plate. The end result is a great looking minifigure and definitely a winner in my book. Bag number 4 was our first duplicate and it was another Wheelchair Racer, so let's move on to bag number 5. We've got a pair of minifigure legs, the full-size adult ones this time. There's a torso, not very exciting. There's the base plate, so where are we going to find something good? That's the head. Oh, now this is more interesting. There's a large piece in here. I'll try and pinch it to show you what I'm feeling. So this is a very large piece. What I'm feeling is a large lump of plastic. There is some kind of stalk on top of it. And I say stalk because I've already figured out what this is. This is going to be the chili pepper person, the chili pepper costume or chili pepper fan costume type person. Really sweating there. Yeah, this is no question. You can feel it because we've got this kind of chili pepper outfit or costume that slips down over the minifigure's head. Long piece at the front, shorter piece at the back. Really distinctive. Going to give you no problems to feel that out. So let's open this up. You are going to see a flash of red. And I didn't feel an inner crinkly bag on this one. In fact, there isn't one. So yeah, easy minifigure to feel out. So what we've got is a large chili pepper shaped piece of, I would call it headgear. It kind of slides down over the body. Very distinctive, very easy to feel out. There's a section at the front there for their face to poke through. And other things we could be feeling for in here. In fact, yeah, there is hair for the minifigure. Really nice element. I think it is new in that colorway. You've got a standard torso, standard legs here. Other interesting things, we have a printed milk carton with a couple of cheese slopes. You could feel for those, but honestly, that's all you need to know. Without a doubt, one of the easiest characters to feel from Series 22, this is Chili Costume Fan. Notice that LEGO doesn't call them guys and girls anymore. This chili fan clearly doesn't like to feel the burn and has brought along a carton of milk. It's a nicely printed 1x1 brick, complete with a cheese slope on top. It would be useful for feeling out the character, except that the chili costume itself is a dead giveaway. I once made a recipe which required a red hot chili pepper of exactly 100 grams. I had to give it away now. At first I thought the chili pepper was dual moulded from red and green plastic. But on closer inspection, I'm definitely detecting some paint bleed. Damn, these macro lenses are good. Like similar costumes before, the chili pepper just sits on top of the minifigure's head. It really is a great recreation of the tear-inducing pepper. The costume comes complete with a window at the front so we can see the minifigure's face. Underneath, the minifigure's costume is almost monochrome except for some printing on the front. The printing is a little bit wishy-washy, but I do like the flaming chili pepper design. This was a bit of a surprise, but we actually get some hair inside the bag. I believe the new red colourway is exclusive to this minifigure. The main facial expression shows the minifigure looking kind of happy, complete with red lipstick. But a couple of chilies later, she's looking a lot less comfortable. Slapping a lump of plastic on top of a minifigure and calling it a costume is a little bit lazy. But I do like the vibrant colours, the facial expression, and the fact that the big fat chili makes it super easy to feel out the minifigure inside the bag. So we're moving on to bag number 6 in search of character number 5. This is a nice slim bag. The thickest element actually here feels like the torso, which is not very good. We've also got the base plate here, which is covered up by the sheet. So we need to find something unusual in here, and ooh, that is unusual. So what we've got here, let's see if we can kind of pinch this into a corner. I think I know what this is. It feels almost like a guitar, but it's got a bent end on it. I think this is going to be the lute, and that would make this very distinctively the Troubadour, which I think is some kind of like wandering minstrel, somebody who wanders around the countryside playing music, maybe telling a few jokes. Very much part of English heritage, I think. And I'm just trying to see. So it's going to be this chap just here. And if it is, we should have. So yeah, actually, I do have the kind of hot pink or purple plume, which goes in the hat. That is going to be a distinctive part. Also, those are the legs. I'm actually looking for the hat, and that will tell us for certain that we've got the right character. I don't need the hat, but yeah, there we go. Actually, yeah. So I've got the hat. It's kind of like I don't know how to describe this. Almost like a three-pointed sided hat, but with a curved back on it. So this is going to be the Troubadour. I will actually Google that and figure out what a Troubadour is and try and explain that to you in a second. But let's just make sure the feeling technique works, and indeed it does. Lots of small parts in here. This is the main one you're going to want to feel for. This is the lute, and it's like an old English guitar with, I don't know if they usually have 3 strings, but it's got this bent end on it. Just feel for a guitar, you've got it covered. There are also, I noticed there's 3 of these. You've got coins, which have got nice printing on. I guess that's what he's collecting for as a reward for his work. And actually, we've got 3 of these purple plumes, which is great. But yeah, also we've got the hat there. We'll take a closer look at that in a second with the macro lens on. But yes, feel for the guitar and you will be golden. So this colourful looking chap from history is known as a troubadour. I have to confess, I googled it. A troubadour was a composer and performer of lyrical poetry during the High Middle Ages. He must be fairly good and has managed to amass himself a pile of coins. These are really nice printed 1x1 tiles with some metallic gold detail. The easiest thing to feel out inside the bag is the troubadour's lute. It's like an old-fashioned guitar, except it's got a bent neck. The lute itself is nicely printed and looks very sharp. Although the minifigure can clutch this by the neck, there is also a handle around the back. I don't recall seeing one of these before, but the copyright information suggests the mould has been around since 2020. Man, that was a good year. The legs are dual moulded from dark brown and blue plastic and have some overprinting which links up with the torso design. He's wearing a belt complete with a coin purse and gold metallic buckle, although the gold metallic printing isn't very good. Thankfully, the rest of the printing is much more vibrant. Adding to the decoration, we find some printed detail on the arms. The printing around the back is equally vibrant, and you'll notice this minifigure only has one facial expression. But what a facial expression this is! I love the cheeky smile, the Van Dyke moustache and beard, and that fashionable stubble down the sides. Equally fashionable is the hat complete with hot pink plume. Knowing how easy these are to lose, LEGO kindly included 3 with the minifigure. The Troubadour is exactly the kind of minifigure I want to find in a collectible series. He's bright and colourful, has bags of personality, and I'm sure the LEGO Castle fans will be pleased with the costume from the Middle Ages. So a really strong start for Series 22. We felt 6 bags, 5 characters, and let's see what's rolling up next. This is very likely to be a duplicate now, but we'll cut that out. Let's have a feel around. It's actually quite a thick bag, and there are 2 really thick elements inside. Chunky. I think chunky is a good word. The first one seems to be cylindrical in shape. I like that word, cylindrical, and I think I already know immediately what this is. We've got a cylindrical shape with handles on each side, and if we refer to our sheet, which is always the way to go, you will see we have this raccoon. Regular visitors to my home in America, and trash pandas like to go in trash cans. So let's see what that other element is. That felt interesting too. yeah, so we've got a piece of headgear. I can tell because I can get my finger inside it. You can usually get your finger inside any kind of hat or helmet. Pointy ears, pointy snout, I think. It's gonna be a raccoon. We should also have a little sack in here. If you're familiar with the Father Christmas minifigures, you'll be familiar with those. In fact, I don't know what that is. That's probably the tail element. You could feel for the sack. I'll show you what I mean in just a second, but honestly, if you felt out the chunky headgear with the ears and not the eyes on as there are on this character, and you felt out the trash can is really the giveaway here. So let me carefully slice along the top here, and there should be a big green trash can inside of here. Indeed there is. So let me push that leaflet to one side, open up this thing if I can get inside, and yeah, you can actually, outside of the pack, you can feel this kind of rubbery tail. It's a fairly distinctive piece of element. Then you've got this very chunky trash can. Again, you know, there's no give in this. It's a big, chunky, fat element. You are going to feel this inside the bag. We also have the piece of headgear, which is again very distinctive. Just watch that you don't confuse these with the antennae. But if you feel this and a trash can, you've got it, honestly. And they also, oh, that's quite sweet. We've got the kind of elderly lady's hair here, which I don't know what I'm going to do with that, because honestly, I'm going to leave it dressed as a trash panda. But then we also have this this sack, and I guess your raccoon would walk around with that, filling it with grub he's nicked from the trash can. So let's put this trash panda together and take a closer look. So we've got us another costume minifigure, and this one is known as Racoon Costume Fan. I guess that's on account of the costume looking like a raccoon. Raccoons love nothing better than trash cans. It's very common in North America to hear these getting knocked over by these audacious critters. The trash can is super chunky and easy to feel inside the bag. Also easy to feel is the white bag the trash panda has in its thieving hands. This character overall is very similar to the fox we got in Series 19. Apart from the funky headgear and tail, things are pretty simple. We've got dual moulded grey and black legs, I guess the minifigure is wearing boots, and you can see where the tail element is wedged between the legs and the body. We've seen this tail design before, and it's made out of flexible plastic. The torso printing is very simple with white fur on the chest. No printing on the arms, but we do have black hands which contrast with the black boots. The headgear is the true star of the show. She's basically killed a raccoon and hollowed out its brains to make a macabre helmet. It's made entirely from grey plastic, and all of the detail is overprinted. I like the moulded detail on either side for the raccoon's whiskers. The facial expression gives the impression of quite a young person, but once you add the hairpiece which comes inside the bag, you see this is a much older lady. It's a familiar but glamorous hairpiece. We do have two facial expressions, this one with a beaming smile, and this one with a more neutral expression. I'm not sure this is my favourite minifigure from Series 22, but it's definitely one of the easier ones to find. Okay, let's keep this moving along. We are up to bag number 8, and let's see what we've got here. We've certainly got a thin bag, no chunky parts in here. That is going to be a torso. Oh, hang on. Okay, I've got something interesting here. Now, I don't know if you can see this, but I've got a kind of elliptical piece here. And on the back of that, I can actually feel a handle, like there's a place for a minifigure to hold it. Now, this really does quickly identify the character. I know that two of these have got shields. We've got the ice guy here who we've not found yet, and then we've got this character here, which has exactly, if it focuses, that shield. So this is going to be, I believe, the Knight Protector. I don't know what she's all about, but certainly we should see a kind of lilac sword. Not lilac sword. In fact, I think there is a lilac sword, but certainly a lilac shield. So here we go. Here's all the goodness inside the bag. This is the killer accessory. This is exactly what you can use to feel out this character. You've got this elliptical shield with the distinctive grip on the back there for the minifigure. Also within here, you've got some really nice teal hair, but that is yeah, that's quite a common hair element. I think I've definitely seen that before. Other accessories in this bag which you can feel out for are these trans purple swords, which I believe is a new colorway. Super cool. But how to identify this character is definitely going to be the shield. And so this is the rather colourful Night Protector. I've never heard of a Night Protector, so I'm guessing it's something LEGO made up. Her accessories include this rather nice trans purple shield. I particularly like the printed decoration around the edge of this shield. Her other accessory is this rather splendid trans purple sword. Even more splendid, we get two of these inside the pack. The printing on this minifigure is really good. The legs are overprinted with grey, white and purple, and even have some nice side printing. The torso is equally well done and includes what I can only describe as an eye on the chest. The attention to detail continues with the arms, which are dual moulded and printed. Although you can't usually see this on account of the minifigure's hair, there is some more fine printing on the back, complete with the symbol which we saw on the shield earlier. The hair is not a new element, but I've definitely not seen it in this teal colour before. The minifigure comes with two different facial expressions. This one which has a very friendly smile, and an alternate expression which is positively badass. The metallic silver printing for the freckles on the face is particularly pleasing. Although I'm no closer to understanding what a Night Protector is or what she does, I really do like this minifigure, especially those trans purple elements, teal hair, and freckles to die for. She is amazing. Bag number 9 was another Night Protector, so we're moving on to bag number 10, and let's see what we've got here. Fairly thin bag again. We've got a leaflet, that's the base plate. Then what else have we got here? That is, oh, that's interesting. Yeah, what I'm feeling here is a kind of stick, but it's got an end on it. This feels like one of those big hammer or mallet elements, and that narrows it down quite a lot. I'm going to see what else I can find in here, just so we can be sure of what we've got. There is actually a flexible piece in here. I'm not sure what that's about. Yeah, that's weird. It's, yeah, almost like some kind of horn. I don't know what that is. Some kind of piece here. Oh, that feels like a 2x1 with a bar on the end of it. So maybe we're assembling something here. I do have a theory that this might be the robot repair tech. And I've got a 2x1 plate with studs on there, kind of rounded edges. And I think we are going to be constructing the little robot from that. This helps a lot. I've got a claw element. And if we refer back to the sheet, you can actually see one of the arms of the robot repair tech is a claw. We've got the hammer. None of these other characters have a hammer. So yeah, this is going to be the robot repair tech. Actually quite a tricky one to feel out. That's the headgear. Actually feels like the head's stuck inside there. But I can feel the flange of that is kind of coming down at the front there. So yeah, this is definitely going to be the robot repair tech. So let's open this up. We should see a flash of yellow as we get inside this bag. No crinkly inner bag this time. So let's have a look at this and okay, let's try and dissect what's going on. So this is the hammer. If you find one of these, you've got the robot repair tech. And then there are a bunch of different elements which are going to go together to make up the little robot. And in here we have these kind of unicorn horn elements. Now these are made of flexible plastic, and that was confusing me a little bit. The other thing you can find to confirm this is we've got the welding helmet for the robot tech, robot repair tech, and you can see here that the head is wedged up inside that. Sometimes that does happen, and that can be quite confusing if you're not expecting that. Everything else, actually, if you look at the torso, it does have a different arm on there, and then you can put the claw into there. So the claw is a good thing to feel out for, but also this hammer. And so our next minifigure is the robot repair tech. It looks like this would be the technician, and this would be the unfortunate victim which needs to be repaired. It's actually made out of 7 LEGO elements, which makes it quite interesting to feel inside the bag. The clips used for the robot's feet are one of the easier things to feel for. There are also some nice printed elements used for the robot's eyes. I'm not exactly sure what's wrong with the robot, but it looks like it might be about to get some percussive maintenance. In layman's terms, that's when you hit it with a hammer until it works. The other accessory included with the repair tech is what I can only assume is a drill. The minifigure itself is really nicely decorated. This almost reminds me of some kind of over-elaborate hazmat suit. The yellow legs mounted on grey hips come with a lot of overprinting. LEGO managed to get a surprising amount of black ink on those grey hips. We also have a printed arm and a robotic style arm on the other side complete with claw. You get 2 of those inside the bag and they're good for feeling. You may notice a claw incorporated into the printing on the front of the torso. It really pops against the yellow background. There's more printing around the back which hints that there may not be a human operative inside the suit. Notice the battery charge indicator peeking out from underneath the helmet. There's also a flap for what presumably conceals the power source. The helmet itself seems to be based on a welder's helmet. There's some decoration around the base which looks like rivets, and then some mysterious digital blue eyes peeking out. Underneath we have this incredibly friendly looking mech face. I love the blue eyes and all of that metallic gold printing. That printing continues around the back with a metallic gold circuit board and what looks like a CPU in the middle. Whether the red robot is there to assist the yellow guy or is in fact being repaired, I guess we'll never know. But what a fun combination to get inside a minifigure blind bag. Moving on to bag number 11, and we've already found 8 of the characters that we're looking for, so very encouraging so far. Let's see what we've got inside this one. It could well be a duplicate. That is a head. No crinkling inner bag here. Yeah, I feel the base plate here, but then we've got something different. Let's have a look at this. Okay, we've got a flexible piece. There's kind of like almost hard plastic for here, and then a flexible strap. Now I know that's going to be one of the bags that go with the minifigure. So I think there's only one character which has one of those. Let's have a feel around and see what else we can find. Yeah. Okay. Well, that really confirms it. This, if you feel it, if you know your LEGO elements, this is a small pair of minifigure binoculars, which I think are coming in a new colour this time. And let's see if we can absolutely confirm this. There is something big and chunky here. Okay, that's the legs and the torso bundled together. Let's not get too excited about that. I'm actually looking. I think there's a bird in here. And let's see if we can find that. It shouldn't be too difficult to find. There should be a toucan if this is the character I'm thinking of. In fact, I can actually feel. So if you see this character on the front of the packaging there, you can see she's wearing a cap. And those are quite distinctive elements. They have kind of a very smooth, very sculpted brim or rim to the cap. What's the word I'm looking for? The visor, the rim, the brim of the cap. And yeah, this is definitely going to be the Birdwatcher. You can tell by the binoculars predominantly. But let me show you what else is in this bag. So there are a few distinctive elements. I didn't need to feel for them all. The first thing we were finding was the satchel, which actually sits on the minifigure's shoulders. Then there are actually 2 of these elements. These are binocular elements. You may be familiar with these, especially from the Star Wars sets, and really nice dark green colour this time. So these are quite distinctive to feel out inside the bag. Only character with these. Here's the headgear that I was feeling, and as you can see here, we've got a brim on this cap, which is quite easy to feel out inside the bag. But there's also a ponytail. The hair is built into this, dual molded from teal and black plastic. And the thing I was looking for and didn't really get to, but didn't need to, is this toucan. Yeah, really nice new molded figurine, and yeah, it looks like it's triple molded out of plastic. So yeah, if you find one of these, or one of these, you've got a Birdwatcher. And so minifigure number 9 in the Series 22 lineup is Birdwatcher. I once ran into Sinead O'Connor when she was out birdwatching. Being a curious chap, I asked her what she saw. I've seen 7 owls and 15 jays. Of course, no birding expedition is complete without some exotic avians. With that in mind, LEGO has included a toucan. It's a brand new element and the printing is super sharp. I used to own a toucan until I found out it was using the phone while I was at work. Let's just say it was a huge bill. The toucan comes complete with some light green foliage you can feel out inside the bag. As well as the excellent avian accessory, the minifigure also comes with some nice swag. Helping to bring the birds into focus, we have a pair of binoculars. For the first time, these come in an unusual dark green colourway. The other unusual accessory is the Twitcher's pink bag. It's a messenger style bag and hangs across the body of the minifigure. Although it's not a new element, I'm pretty sure we've never seen it in this colour. Turning our attention to the minifigure, she is dressed pretty practically. The legs are dual moulded and incorporate dark brown boots with practical pockets printed on the side. There's even a little metallic detail for the belt buckle. The torso printing is pretty simple with some more practical pockets. There's even less to see around the back where we have some grey printing for the contours of the body. The arms are dual moulded and I like the inclusion of a little printing for the wristwatch. It's about time, LEGO. Although not a new element, I do like the hat complete with hair. I love the way the hair is looped through the back of the cap, complete with teal hairband. Like many of these minifigures, we do have 2 facial expressions. This one looks fairly focused and I love the addition of the mole. But look at the joy on her face as she experiences some really nice birdage. The one thing I do find annoying is that a freshly opened minifigure has a hairline crack on the head. Setting aside the obvious quality control issue, this is a really nice looking minifigure and has some great accessories. 9 down, 3 to go. So with 9 characters found, we're moving on to bag number 12. Let's see what we've got in here. Another quite thin bag, so it could be a duplicate. We have legs, they feel like the adult legs. That is a torso with the hands. Yep, standard. It's not going to be the robot repair tech. Let's see what else we've got. That feels interesting. Oh, that's a jumper plate. Now, what's that going to be from? So it's a 1x2 jumper plate. You can tell it's got the stud on top here. I do have a theory. And yeah, I think that's gonna help a little bit too. Yeah, so we've got a jumper plate and then we've got one of these kind of dynamic pose elements. This will be clear plastic, fits on top of the jumper plate, and then you can angle the minifigure in air like they're jumping, maybe on ice. That's what I'm thinking so far. Let's see what else we've got in here. We should, those are the legs again. We should have something pretty distinctive in here to confirm it, and I think I've just found it. So yeah, this is gonna be the ice skater. We did actually get one of these, a female ice skater, in a much earlier Minifigures series, but this is going to be the male one from series 22. He's having a bit of a sweat here, and I've just found the cup. Very distinctive. He's the only character who's got one of these. The other thing I was feeling around for, you should be able to feel a pair of ice skates. That's another dynamic pose element. I think, yeah, actually that's an ice skate. So yeah, we've definitely got the figure skater. I think it's the appropriate actual name. Let me check my list. Yeah, it's actually the figure skating champion, hence the cup. So he's got this gold trophy, very distinctive, easy to feel out in the bag. Other things you can be feeling for are, here we go. This is the jumper plate that I felt. And also the dynamic pose elements are kind of curved with an anti-stud on the end, or a stud on the end. And then you can also feel for the ice skates. There's only one character with the ice skates, and that is conclusively the figure skating champion. But I would recommend you feel for this trophy. So feast your eyes upon this happy looking chappy. This is Figure Skating Champion and he looks rather familiar. We have to go all the way back to 2011 and Series 4 to find his partner. These guys have smiles so white they could be QVC presenters. What an adorable pair they make. Being a Figure Skating Champion, this guy comes complete with a gold trophy. This is one of the easiest things to feel out inside the bag. If you find one of these, you've found the figure skater. As you would expect, he also comes with a pair of ice skates. These can be attached to the minifigure's feet, but then of course he can't stand on the base plate. Thankfully, LEGO has included some elements to help with that. Using the trans-clear elements, we can put the minifigure into a dynamic pose. There's a 1x2 jumper which attaches to the base plate, and in turn that attaches to the back of the minifigure's leg. The legs are standard minifigure legs with no dual moulding and no printing. The torso, however, is somewhat more jazzy, especially when you turn it towards the light. The metallic silver detail really does pop. The arms come in 2 different colours, and the right arm has some very fine metallic printing. The figure skating champion has only one facial expression, but looks very happy. I love the metallic stars printed on the face, which matches partner from 11 years ago. I also like the overly coiffured hair, which must have used a lot of hairspray. I'd have been content with just the figure skating champion, but it's so cool that we can dig out the minifigure from Series 4 and finally create a pair. Bag number 13 was another Racoon Costume Fan, and bag 14 was a Night Raider, so let's crack on with bag 15 and see what we've got here. Probably another duplicate, but we'll... oh, now is that another horse? So, yeah, straight away, this is a 4-legged creature. It feels a lot smaller than the foal we got with the Horse and Groom minifigure. Now there are 2 4-legged animals in this series. We've got the foal, and we've also got this smaller husky who goes with the Snow Guardian, and I'm guessing if this is going to be the Snow Guardian, we should have a distinctive piece of headgear, a shield and a sword, so let's see if we can confirm that. It's a leaflet, base plate. Come on, where's the good stuff? Okay, so there is, I can get my finger inside this, so we've got a piece of headgear here. It feels like the furry hat, as you can see on the front here. And if we can feel a sword, that would be just a bonus. It's always nice to confirm these with multiple elements before risking my reputation as the premier feeder of bags. But I'm absolutely certain on what I've got here. In fact, what is that? Oh, there's a collar that the minifigure wears, like a furry collar. That's definitely it. So I'm not going to feel this anymore. There will be a shield in there somewhere. There will also be a sword in there somewhere. So let's get this open. No crinkly inner bag this time. Lots of white components inside, which is good. Okay, so here is the shield. It's the only round shield in the series, so you want to feel for that. It's kind of a little bit concave with a minifigure handle on the back. Here is a distinctive headgear. You can actually get your finger inside that and feel it's a kind of fluffy hat, but it's not the acorn guy. It's a little bit like the acorn guys, the forest elf, that acorn that he wears on his head. We've also got this collar, which fits over the minifigure's shoulders. Again, very distinctive to feel. But my recommendation would be to go after the husky. Really nice element here, dual molded and nicely painted. You could confuse it with the horse, but the horse is much bigger. Another thing you can go after is this particularly nice sword. Yeah, I bet that's going to do well on the resale market. But yeah, definitely go after the dog, and the other elements are a bonus to help you to confirm your feeling technique. And so our penultimate minifigure of the 12 from Series 22 is the Snow Guardian, complete with dog. I say dog, but husky might be a more accurate description. It's dual moulded from white and grey plastic and has some printing for the face. I don't think this is new, but it's a nicely sculpted dog. I especially like the curly tail, and there's a stud on the back in case baby Groot needs a ride. The Snow Guardian himself is quite an imposing minifigure. He comes with a unique shield with snowflake printed design and a most impressive looking sword. It's pretty much the same height as the minifigure. The posable legs are dual moulded and also incorporate some side printing. The printing on the torso is really crisp, complete with metallic snowflake and a pair of dog silhouettes which look just like the husky. The Snow Guardian is warmly dressed in furs and wears a fur collar as well as fur trimmed hat. The hat is really nicely detailed and dual moulded from blue and white plastic. It complements the fur collar and that stern expression really well. Speaking of the expression, this is not the only one. We also have a much more relaxed expression on the other side of the head. The Snow Guardian is a cracking minifigure and a great addition to Series 22, but will it count among my favourites? We'll find out in a few minutes after we've felt out the final character. Bag number 17, and I'm sure we're going to run into a bunch of duplicates here. It kind of becomes inevitable at this stage when you've already found 11 of the 12 characters. But let's have a feel around, see what we've got in here, and I can always cut it. So we've got a minifigure head, another minifigure head. Oh wow, well that's unusual. That does give me a theory, actually. Let's see what else we've got in here. I'm looking, hopefully, for a piece of headgear, which I think is going to be quite distinctive. Yeah, that's a head again. That is a stud. So we've got a 1x1 stud. Again, that does kind of confirm my theory. Here's the piece of headgear. I think. Is it? What on earth is that? Oh, yeah, it is a piece of headgear. It's just very flimsy plastic. I expected this to be much harder, not squishy. Yeah, there's a piece of headgear with a couple of almost like antennae on it, and those are going to be the eyes of the space creature. Now, the space creature has some kind of gas tank or air tank on its back, and that's actually a minifigure head. So if you're finding two minifigure heads in here, that is going to be the space creature. What we should also find in here, and I've just found it, is a ray gun. And the 1x1 stud that I identified a few moments ago, that actually goes on the end of this ray gun. So this is definitely, it's going to be our 12th character after only 16 bags, which is impressive. I will go through and feel all the rest of them just to make sure that I do have 3 full sets, and I will reveal that to you later. But I'm not going to show you me feeling out lots of duplicate bags because that's no fun. This is a bit of a tutorial, so I don't want to show you me getting duplicates all of the time. Right, what we've got here. First thing you're going to notice when you're feeling around is you get 2 minifigure heads. There's going to be one which is the head for the actual minifigure, and then I guess some kind of either gas tank or maybe some noxious stuff that he sprays on people with his ray gun. Speaking of the ray gun, we do have a teal ray gun, new colorway for this, I believe, really nice. And you will find a couple of studs in the packet as well. I don't think many of these have the 1x1 studs, so these are good to feel out for, but always feel another element. And this is what confused me a little bit. I was feeling for a very rigid piece of headgear. This has got the eyes on top of it, but it's actually made from squidgy plastic. So if you find a piece of headgear made from squidgy plastic, there's also a good chance it's going to be the space creature. Anyway, this looks very cool. I love the classic space logo on the torso there, which obviously you can't feel out inside the bag. I shall go ahead and put together the last character, and then we'll take a closer look and wrap up. And so our final character from Series 22 is the aptly named Space Creature. This manages to be completely hideous yet endearingly cute at the same time. Space Creature's weapon of choice is a ray gun, which comes in teal for the first time. To make it look super futuristic, LEGO added a trans green stud to the end. I'm not certain, but I think the cylinder on the back of the minifigure may contain some kind of green ooze for shooting from the ray gun. This is made from a trans green minifigure head with some kind of toxic warning logo. The minifigure legs are purple with black hips and come with some interesting black overprinting. But my favourite thing about this character is the torso print complete with the classic space logo. The arms are also printed and include some nice gold metallics. I don't know whether this really qualifies as a facial expression, but we do have 2 of them. There's this one which is quite cute and happy, and then this one which is even cuter and even happier. The headgear, complete with eyes on stalks, is made out of squishy plastic. It's a bit of a giveaway when you're trying to feel out the space creature from inside the bag. If I had to describe this minifigure in one word, it would be oddball. But I mean oddball in quite a nice way. It's certainly imaginative, and the end result is an endearingly cute minifigure. And so, another 12 collectible minifigures are released from their foil prisons to complete Series 22. I kinda miss those days when we used to get 16 minifigures in a series, but I'll take quality over quantity. So getting down to important business, what about the box distribution? Well, as I promised, I did feel every bag and write down the contents. This, and I have to believe every box of 36 random minifigure blind bags contains 3 full sets. That's 3 Birdwatchers, 3 Chili Costume Fans, 3 Figure Skating Champions, 3 Forest Elves, 3 Grooms with 3 horses, 3 Night Protectors, 3 Racoon Costume Fans, 3 Robot Repair Techs, 3 adorable yet hideous space creatures, 3 Snow Guardians, 3 Troubadours, and 3 Wheelchair Racers. So I've got me a complete set of Series 22 minifigures to display, and not 1, but 2 complete sets to gather dust until I die, and my kids sell them to recoup some of the hard-earned inheritance which I spent on LEGO. I really enjoyed feeling out this set of minifigures and sharing what is truly an easy way to get a complete set without the disappointment and wasted money. I do have a top 5, and here they are. In 5th place, the Forest Elf. This guy is so adorable, and I love the printed mushroom and acorn hat. In 4th place, it's the Night Protector. I really love the trans-purple shield and sword, but those silver freckles are absolutely stunning. In 3rd place, and having an outstanding selection of accessories, is the Birdwatcher. The toucan's great, and I love the bright pink messenger bag and dark green binoculars. In 2nd place is the Troubadour. The loot is a really nice accessory, and just generally the overall appearance of this minifigure complete with that bright costume makes me smile. But my favourite character from Series 22 is the Wheelchair Racer. I love the custom built racing wheelchair and the fact that the minifigure sits so nicely up on top. So that was my field guide for Series 22 of the LEGO collectible minifigure blind bags. If you enjoyed the video or found it useful, a thumbs up is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more LEGO goodness. Thanks a million for checking out the video, stay safe, and I'll see you next time for a little more Wizarding World magic.